going to say it was the best movie that I've seen in a long time.
No. Well, if you just count plane
You
rides,
loved it.
yes. But I've
okay.
also seen on planes
Plane
before.
rides.
I'll watch whatever they give me. I watched Made in Manhattan and Tuscan Sun.
Oh, my
both
God.
on plane
They
rides.
should have a review site just for plane movies. And then they get like a much boost. They get boosted.
We absolutely need to do that. Made in Manhattan. I'm embarrassed I said that.
Oh, my God.
Hello, this is Between the Streams. This is our weekly show where we talk about movies and television and everything that has to do with them. We've got a lot of things to talk about. There's no big movie out today at all
nothing
to talk
It's
about,
just
so
a
I don't know if
normal
we'll
weekend.
have time to get to anything for that.
Yeah, I probably won't do movies today.
Probably not. But as we're broadcasting live on YouTube, we do want to hear your comments, your thoughts, what you think. If you have opinions about any movies or shows that we're going to be talking about, or something that maybe we should be discussing that we're not, let us know. I'm Greg Nibbler.
I'm Ryan Juanita.
And I guess we'll talk about some little movie that just came out last
like an
night.
indie flick.
Yeah, an indie flick called Star Wars Rogue One, which came out last night. All right, I know you were there.
It's called Rogue One, A Star Wars Story.
A Star Wars Story. I'm sorry. He's seen it. I have not. And I'm extremely jealous of that. I'm
Yeah.
going to say this. There will be no spoilers on here.
No spoilers.
We won't talk about the crossover with Star Trek because there's Klingons.
Yeah, that was surprising.
That part.
That
or
was
that,
surprising.
Gandalf opens up a Stargate
I didn't
in
see that
Star
coming.
Wars. Yeah, so there's a lot of crossovers that happen that we won't talk about those.
Yeah, that's weird.
All right, you saw it. I'm jealous.
Yeah, so
how good was it?
Let me talk about it. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it was probably. I was blown away. Okay, that's
Really?
the easiest way to say. I was blown away. I had some inkling of what it was going to be like. Of course, I knew what a lot of the story was, and that's the problem with our job, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I love our job. I love being able to talk movies, talk TV for a living. I cannot complain about that. But the problem is, I see every little minute detail of the movie that comes online before we get to it. So I had all these little bits and pieces in my brain, and of course, my brain is trying to assemble them before I watch the movie, even though I'm trying to tell it to stop doing that.
You're trying to spoil it
My
yourself.
brain is like trying to spoil it for me. But I went in there just, having sort of these different ideas. It blew me away.
Really?
It is one of the most beautiful cinematic space movies I've ever seen. And frankly, just to get right to it, I think it very much competes with The Force Awakens, if not beats the movie for me. Yeah,
that good?
For
Because
me.
I loved The Force Awakens.
I did
thought
too.
It was
I
great.
really enjoyed it. I know a lot of people have fun, talking smack on it these days, and I don't agree
that's
with that.
anything.
The one thing that I held about The Force Awakens, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it, is I wish they wouldn't have blown up the big weapon.
Okay.
The same way that they've done it in two different movies. For me was a
Spoilers.
little bit too much repeat. If you haven't seen The Force Awakens, you're not going to. But so that was one thing that held me back on The Force Awakens. I still loved it, but this is such a different story. It's such a deeper delve into the world of Star Wars. You get all these dimensions. You get to travel to all these different places, and without giving too much away, the cinematography of it, they did a really just knockout job. John Knoll, who I was reading up about this guy, he works for ILM. That's the main Lucas special effects thing that Disney bought up with the whole $4 billion package. This guy has been doing amazing things, invented a little site called Photoshop, such things as that. Yeah. He's been doing this since he was 15, but he did the special effects, and Gareth Edwards working with him, who's also a special effects guy, the director. They did this amazing job of making it seamlessly flow into the new movie, and we knew it was going to do that.
Right.
But in doing so, they did sort of this. Again, I don't want to give too much away, but they did sort of this
seamlessly
CGI modeling that looks like it was shot in the 70s.
Wow.
Some of it does. Not all of it, but a lot of it, especially I won't give too much away, but
Right.
certain
No
parts
spoilers.
of it do look like modeling, as if, and I was almost, and I'm still haven't verified that they didn't use models for this movie, because the other thing about Gareth Edwards is he wanted to do as much practical effects in this movie as he could. We had an interview on the site with Alan Tudyk, and he said when they moved one of the ships down to land it, they didn't just use CGI, they actually used a crane
to lower the
to
ship
lower
down
them
to make
three
it look like
stories,
it's
to
landing.
make it feel like it's real, to make it look like it's real. So for me, it all came together, and I was just sort of wowed in a way I haven't been in a theater in a very long time.
All right, that's a pretty glowing endorsement. And everybody I've seen that's posting on it, which, by the way, there's a lot of people posting spoilers on Facebook.
And I won't give anything away because I want people to go in fresh, but just know that it's one of the best space movies I've seen in years, and I think it easily stands up with Force Awakens.
All right, that's good enough for me. I mean, I think I'm going to go see it tomorrow. I'll see it this weekend.
So good. I'm going to go see it again. Pretty soon.
Okay.
I would go see it right now. Do you guys want to go? Let's just go.
Yeah. All right. That's it.
Let's
we'll
quit
just
the
walk out of
show.
here.
We're just going to go to a matinee.
We'll live stream it. No, we won't do that. That's
we
illegal.
got people blocking our entrance anyway.
Right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a whole nother side thing.
Yeah.
All right. So there we go. Star Wars Rogue One. Have you seen it? No spoilers. If you want to post something in there, tell us what you think. Do you agree with Ryan that it could be better than The Force Awakens, or do you think it doesn't stand up to that? I'm really curious to see people's thoughts. I am really, really excited to see it. So I'll post what I think on Twitter or something like that. Not as nice as this, but you've got the full review there.
And I will also say that, and we do have a full review from Rick Marshall. I'll also say that I just saw The Force Awakens a few weeks back in Dolby Cinema's
so it's fresh.
badass theater. So I kind of have like a good reference between the two. And there are some things that Force Awakens does that are amazing that this doesn't, but bravo, man. Gareth Edwards, bravo.
All right.
Way to go.
There we go. Star Force Rogue One. We got a lot of other things coming up that we're going to talk about, including some Star Trek and some Godzilla. We got monster movies, Fast and Furious. But what else is out at the box office?
Yeah,
if you are not seeing Rogue One, this is probably maybe 3 weeks from now I'll watch this movie. But what ones do we have out right now?
The other thing that is sort of notable, I think, is Manchester by the Sea, which is this Casey Affleck movie. It's a drama. It's basically about a dude who he loses his brother, played by Kyle Chandler, and ends up having to take in his son, who's a 16-year-old, and the two of them move back to his hometown where he's got a lot of demons that he has to face. But the critics just love it. They're like going ape for this thing. It's got a 97% right now, 8.9 average. So
wow,
if you're looking for like a good family drama, this thing is doing pretty well with the review sites that we've looked at. So this
I like
could be
Casey
a good
Affleck.
alternative.
I know a lot of people don't.
He's got chops.
Yeah, I've heard conflicting things.
No,
I've
liked
Casey
everything
Affleck.
I've seen him in.
Yeah, I think he's great. I like him better than his brother, even so.
What?
Yeah,
Batman?
Yes, better than Batman. Oh yeah, I saw Batman versus Superman as well. Finally, I finally watched it. Yeah. So Manchester by the Sea, that is one that's out, and then we also have Collateral Beauty.
Yeah. So this is Will Smith's sort of Oscar bait that I put on. If you read about our if you read on our site our little write up of our podcast today, I said it went from Oscar bait to sort of reviewer chum. It's they're loving to hate on this movie. It's at a 14% right now, 3.4 average. I guess they said it's so bad that it's like humiliatingly funny.
Oh man, it's that bad? Because the trailer, from what I understand, it's showing essentially this guy, Will Smith, goes through a trauma and he writes letters to love, time, and death.
That's a terrible idea in the first place.
Time, and death, and this is no spoilers in the trailer.
They show up.
And
Helen Mirren is there. Like, there's a lot of good actors in this. There's a lot of good actors.
Yeah, Keira Knightley's Love or something. And
and they got Ed Norton. They got Michael Pena, Naomi Harris. It's loaded with big names, but
not so much.
I haven't seen it, but apparently it's awful. So
okay,
I thought it looked awful. My fiance was like, gag, like the first time
I like
she
all
saw
the people in it. I like Will Smith.
Yeah, I don't know,
but no, not so
Good
much.
Good luck on that one.
All right,
poor Will Smith. I don't know.
Now what's the other one here? Solace.
One more. It's Solace. Yeah.
Solace or Solace?
Solace. However you want to say it.
Okay, I don't know.
Solace.
Favre.
Yeah.
All right.
This is Colin Farrell. I believe he plays an FBI agent who's trying to solve murders with the help of a psychic doctor who is Anthony Hopkins. Also not doing great. This one does have Jeffrey Dean Morgan in it.
He's a doctor, but he's psychic.
He's psychic, and he solves crimes. Yeah, I don't know. It's not doing well, I guess. I guess it just kind of fell apart in the script somewhere.
Okay. So. All right. Well,
just mentioning those ones to stay away from, essentially, as we do.
Just some other options.
It's a public service thing we do here on the show.
Yeah, to let you know what is out there.
Don't do it.
Let us know what you think. Of course, if you're watching live, or send us an email, podcast@digitaltrends.com. Okay, let's get at some other things here that we do know about. We do have a trailer.
The trailer. 139 million views in 24 hours.
For Fast and Furious 8.
This franchise will not die.
Fate of the Furious.
Fate of the Furious.
I'm going to tell you right now, these are not my kind of movie.
These are not my kind of movies either.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people love these movies, so we're going to get some hate mail here. I liken this trailer to the dramas I used to make up as a child with Matchbox cars. One of the good guys goes bad, and then the cars blow up and fall into each other. I had really, intricate stories like this. I mean, I wouldn't sell them to a studio as a screenplay, but this is the kind of stuff I came up with as a 10 to 12-year-old. I don't, whatever, man. It's like people love these movies, and that's great, but for me, it's just, there has to be more than...
But I mean,
so
8 movies, they're doing something right.
let me see. They're not only doing something right. I mean, the last one made like $1 billion, literally
Yeah.
$1 billion. I mean, if you make $1 billion, that's one of the biggest movies of all time. That's Titanic territory.
Yeah.
So I mean, the movie Titanic, and our
And this is
guy,
pretty much all Vin
Rick
Diesel
Marshall
does.
likes these movies, man. He digs them, and he's our main reviewer. So who am I to say? What he says is they're like superheroes, but they're superpowers like cars.
Okay.
It's like a superhero buddy movie, but they're superheroes.
Somehow,
like
whatever the
cars.
problems are, they can all be solved by racing.
Yes, and
car.
there's a submarine that comes out of the ground, and Charlize Theron's the bad guy who makes Dom turn on his family. I just hate how they keep calling him your family, like over and over again. It's not your
furious
family.
family.
It's just your buddies that
That's
you
their
drive
family,
crazy.
man. You don't understand the
Okay.
lifestyle. That's all it
We
is.
don't like it. I know a lot of people do, and that's what the world's for. Like, that's why we have variety. There's something for everybody, and a lot of people like these movies.
Well, 139 people viewing that
139
within
million
24
in the first
hours.
day.
I would say we're probably in the minority here of
We are.
movie fans.
There's no other way to
that
say
don't
it.
watch these. So maybe I need to give them another chance.
Maybe.
Honestly, the one I've seen fully, I understand is not the best one, which is the Tokyo Drift.
That's not even like really part of the canon. Like totally like divides from like the whole story. of
Yeah,
Paul
well, it's not
Walker
good.
and all that.
It's not
No,
good.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
I saw one like I think I saw like the second one for like 15 minutes, and I just couldn't figure it out. Like, Paul Walker was a cop, but he wasn't a cop, but he maybe was a cop, but he used to be a cop, or like I don't know.
I will tell you, if that was on an airplane, though, I would watch it in a second over what
See, there
my
you go.
choices
That's
were.
why we need an airplane movie review set.
We really do. All right, so there's that trailer just came out. Going on to some other things that we're finding out more about. Slowly, more things are being revealed about Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah, they're finally deciding that people need to be in this thing.
Right, and that people need to know what's happening
Yeah.
with it. That you just can't say, "Oh, we got a Star Trek series."
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to be in it. I
Yeah,
don't know what it's about.
We've gotten over the last couple weeks, and we've been off.
Right.
So over the last couple weeks, we've gotten a bunch of new casting. But most recently, we got The Walking Dead's Sonequa Martin Green will play the female lead.
Yeah.
Who, as we've spoken about, will be the first. First of all, she'll be the first African American female lead, and second, she will also be the first lead who is not a captain.
Yeah, because generally, I mean,
So
every series,
go with that how you
it's
want
the captain
to.
who is the star.
Yeah.
But she's going to be the
The
lieutenant
first officer,
captain,
yeah, she's
lieutenant
gonna be the
commander.
first, and she'll be known as number one, which is what they used to call Riker.
Number one,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Your favorite thing to say.
Number one.
You're gonna make a little alert, a text alert with your voice doing that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was on the set of a television show one time, and he was the director. And
Riker?
Yeah, Riker was.
Wow.
Yeah, he
Nice.
was awesome. But everybody on set just called him number one.
That's rad.
So, and he totally embraces
That's
it.
pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
he was
It's
pretty
like-
cool about it.
It's
Like,
his
number one.
It's
Like,
his
yep.
the boss.
Yeah.
You know, like
Uh-huh.
Springsteen's the boss.
Yeah, super nice
So
guy.
we also got other cast members: Chris Obi, who was in Snow White and the Huntsman and Ghost in the Shell; Shazad Latif, who was in MI5 and Black Mirror; and Mary Chieffo, who was in Miss Dial. I don't know who she is, but they are going to be Klingons.
Yeah,
they are
and-
part of the Klingon force.
Right, and we know a little bit more about that too, which I think this aspect of it is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
In that it's the formation of the Klingon Empire is what they're generally going to show. in
Really?
this.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
That's what I read as far as one of the plot points. So it starts off with they've got the different Klingon houses, and it's the unification of that and leading to the creation of the Klingon Empire.
That's
So
cool.
I would think they'll show, that maybe the formation of it, or maybe that's the trailer for the next season or something. But that's kind of neat.
Well, I mean, look, this show has all the potential of a good Star Trek, a good addition to the franchise. But again, like we said, it's just going to be hard to watch it.
Yeah.
Unless you
because
buy
they're
up
making it
CBS All Access.
Yeah, CBS
I mean,
All
this
Access.
is another thing with CBS. They won't join up with any of the streaming services, like the streaming TV services like Sling TV, DirecTV Now, and PlayStation View. CBS is the one broadcast holdout for all of those
Well,
because
they're-
they're trying to do their own thing.
And they're banking a lot on Star Trek, which, just in case you don't know, too, if you think, oh, well, I'm going to be able to watch this on Netflix, I think maybe, was it one episode, or if there or no
I
episodes
believe that
in
none
the
of them
US.
will be in the U.S.
Yeah, it's
and the first
outside of the
couple,
US.
I think you'll be able to watch on CBS. Maybe I can't remember how that all breaks
and then
down.
the rest of it you have to
Yeah.
subscribe in order to watch it.
Yeah,
So
and then just to fill out the cast, we also have Michelle Yeoh from Crouching Tiger, and she's playing Captain Georgiou, I think, and she's the captain of another starship, not Discovery. Discovery is like the main starship in this show, and she's the captain of another starship. And then we also have Doug Jones, who you'll remember as the he's like a creature dude. He always plays creatures in Hellboy and Pan's Labyrinth. He's in
Okay.
both of those. And Rent and Dazed and Confused star Anthony Rapp is also in it.
Okay. All right.
So
finding out
they've
some
rounded
more.
out the cast pretty well so far. I mean, this was one of the longest sort of waits for a cast I can remember for a major TV show.
Yeah.
It's like they just couldn't find any, but I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah, who knows what they're trying to do with it. But either way, I mean, I'll tell you this. I'll watch it. I will
I
watch
wanna
at
see
least
it.
the first couple
Absolutely.
of episodes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And whether or not I'll pay for CBS All Access remains to be seen.
I will not.
Yeah, yeah. Or I'll wait till they all come out and then I'll watch. Then I'll rent it
Yeah,
for like
that
a
seems
month
like the
and then watch
easiest
it
way
and
that
then cancel.
could go down. Yeah.
Yeah, but let us know what you think. Will you rent CBS All Access subscribe just based on this Star Trek series, or will you kind of wait and see? I don't know. There's some people I know that are Star Trek fans that they will watch it even if it's the worst thing they've ever done. They will watch it in its entirety, complain about it the entire time. but
Like
they won't-
Enterprise.
Right, yeah.
Because
like
everyone hates Enterprise.
Everybody hates Enterprise.
They're like, it could have been good.
yeah, but
and
it's
we watched
not.
every
It's
episode.
so bad. It is so bad.
Yeah, and by the way, we actually have a thing, a piece on the site that names the 5 best episodes of every single Star Trek franchise.
That's great.
Our guy Ed Oswald went through and just
Watched
I mean,
all
this
of them?
is, well, I mean, he's just a Star Trek nut, obviously, but this
Yeah.
is like a serious piece. Like, if you want an introduction to the entire thing, this is the piece for it.
When I think we're at the 30-year anniversary of The Next Generation, too, at
oh, I didn't even know
something
that.
like that. Yeah, which is coming up. So crazy. All right, let's talk about another show.
Yeah, moving on.
Another movie, rather. That is out, and it's Sneaky Pete, and it's the return of Bryan Cranston.
This is a show.
It's a show,
Yeah,
excuse me, television show.
Yeah.
I said movie, I'm bouncing back and forth. Television show. Sneaky Pete, with Bryan Cranston returning to television. And
Sort of. I mean, he's going to be in it, but I don't know if he's going to be a featured player. Like,
you don't think so?
Well, he's executive producing, and he's playing the bad guy.
Yeah.
And then Giovanni Ribisi is the main dude, and he is playing, this ex-con who basically takes over the life of his cellmate because he's running from Bryan Cranston.
And Bryan Cranston, he owes Bryan Cranston money, I believe, from
$100
the
grand,
Yeah.
and Bryan Cranston has his brother, and he tells him he's going to start cutting off his fingers, which is every bad guy's.
Oh, yeah, you always go for the
You always
fingers
go
first.
for the
Yeah,
fingers
uh-huh.
because he got so many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can do it slow.
And it hurts.
Yeah.
It's pretty painful.
Sure.
Interesting thing about this show. Now, this show looks like it could be pretty good. It's an Amazon original. They had the pilot come out, I think, like damn near a year ago. I mean, it's been sitting for a long time. You can watch the pilot right now. The season begins on January 13th. The rest of the season. Interesting thing though, if you look on IMDb, and I think it's probably just a misprint, but Giovanni Ribisi is only listed as 3 episodes.
Which is weird because the trailer, he is the star.
It's all him.
Yeah.
So it must be a mistake. But I just found that
Or
off.
not. Or they're throwing us some
I don't
loops
know.
right
I'm
there.
on IMDb a lot, and I was like, that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think they'd have
So,
that fixed if
yeah.
that were the case.
Especially since it's coming out soon.
Or they're trying to throw people off.
If you work at IMDb, you might want to check that out.
Let us know.
Yeah.
I think it looks great. I will definitely check that out. It's
looks
it's
really
right up
interesting.
my alley for the kind of show that I like.
Yeah.
It definitely looks pretty appealing. And anything with Bryan Cranston, you got to give it a shot.
Yeah,
Right off
I
the
mean,
bat.
I guess the story is he like goes and lives with this guy's grandparents at their farm, but the whole time there's like a ticking clock. It's like a ticking clock
Waiting
type
for him to track him
situation
down.
to try to make the money back to get his brother out. So
All right, Sneaky Pete. And that you said that's January 13th.
13th, yeah.
That's when the full season's available there on Amazon. All right, some more sequel news that we have found out about.
Yeah.
And it's Godzilla King of Monsters has a sequel, and Pacific Rim Uprising. So we have those are the official titles which have come out.
now,
John
Boyega said it was going to be Maelstrom, and I don't know if they shot
Yeah,
that or
and that's what
something
we
because
talked
John
about.
Boyega is going to be in it, and he's going to be playing Idris Elba's character's son.
Okay.
Who Idris Elba, as for those who haven't seen, is the best
Main
part
guy.
of Pacific Rim,
Yeah.
I think, and the main sort of hero, I guess. Or
Yeah.
he's like not the main hero, but he's the best part.
He's Idris Elba. He
Yeah,
always gets the
he's
attention.
great.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's weird. Now they changed the name. I guess they didn't think it was cool enough. This movie's coming out February 22nd, 2018.
You know what? To be honest, I'm going to guess it was just like a marketing thing.
Yeah.
Like, nah, that's too complicated for people to figure that
What's
out.
a Maelstrom?
Uprising. That's easy. That's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, so this film is currently they're currently in production in China and Australia, and for those who don't know, it's directed by Stephen Estes Knight, who is the guy behind Daredevil, and Spartacus, the showrunner for both those shows. And I believe the same studio is also coming out with the next Godzilla sequel from the reboot, who, by the way, Godzilla was directed by Gareth Edwards, Rogue One director.
Wow, it all ties together.
Yeah, it's all coming together.
It's all a circle.
But this, now we have a title for this film, and it's called Godzilla King of Monsters. This title is kind of cool, though, because it's a throwback. So Rick Marshall, our movie guy, wrote about this. The original Godzilla, which came out in 1956, its American release was changed from just Godzilla to Godzilla King of Monsters! ! As they did in the 50s. They'd put a lot of exclamation points to get you excited.
Well, now I have to pay attention.
Yeah, and they also cut in a bunch of scenes with Raymond Burr because they didn't think American audiences could watch like a movie without Americans in it, I guess. And yeah, so basically the title of this film is a throwback to that.
Okay. Well, and this, correct me if I'm wrong, but the overall thing is, because they're also doing the King Kong movies, is there some kind of tie-in there with the monsters, or...
Not that I'm
Not that you're
aware
aware
of.
of.
I
Okay.
think you're just thinking of the video
I'm probably
game.
just... Well, yeah, maybe that's...
Rampage.
Rampage. Oh, Rampage is a great game.
It is a great game.
That is a great game.
They have it at the like old school arcade
Ground
down the
control.
street, ground
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
And it's quite fun.
Oh, it is good.
Yeah.
All right, so Godzilla King of Monsters, and that's going to premiere March 22nd, 2019, as of now. And Pacific Rim Uprising is 2018. That's
Yeah,
weird that
there's-
it's so far away for that Godzilla King of Monsters.
Well,
I mean,
it's also just weird that they're coming out with two huge monster movies. Like,
yeah, I mean, they're a year apart.
yeah, I guess.
But maybe they think monsters are going to be the new zombies. Something's got to take over
Could
that
be.
zombie slot there. I mean, we
Yeah.
have vampires.
Everybody's
then
bailing on
zombies.
the. I just want to say, like, everybody's like bailing on The Walking Dead now. And
Yeah.
I remember how I said I'm not excited. See?
Yeah.
I called it.
You called it. You're putting that down. All right, what are you saying is going to be the next big thing?
The next big thing. I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what Universal wants to be the next big thing, and that's The Mummy. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah, mummies are boring.
I don't know. That
I think
trailer looks interesting.
We need an alien comeback. We need more aliens.
Oh, like aliens ever went anywhere.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they need to be like the more focal point. Like,
Yeah, I guess.
Like, you know, what vampires had and what zombies had.
I just feel like aliens are always happening.
What about
Arrival.
werewolves? Maybe werewolves.
Yeah, werewolves are cool, but it's like so boring because it's like you can't control it, and you know you just turn into like a monster, and then you.
All right, ghosts. We'll go with ghosts. Something's got to take the place.
I don't know.
No, I want aliens. It's going to be aliens.
All right.
That's my prediction. All right. Here's let's go on to some Netflix news. In a rarity for Netflix, they have actually canceled something.
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen too often. Usually they just dole out seasons. And it's actually a show that I watch, although apparently not many other people did. And it is Marco Polo. Marco Polo.
Everyone hates that show.
Everybody hates that show. I like that show. I hate Marco Polo.
In the show.
Yeah, that character
I have to say,
sucks.
so I've been watching it just a little bit because I've been testing some TVs, and it's got really
Cedar,
good
yeah.
Dolby Vision, 4K, HDR.
It's beautiful.
It is gorgeous, and it's one of the best shows to watch for that kind of thing. And for those who like that sort of thing, it also has a lot of nudity in it, and quite a bit of violence. So
now it feels
didn't-
weird that I just
didn't
talked
hate
about
it.
how much I like it.
Look, I felt a little uncomfortable watching it at work. Let's put it that way. I'm like looking for it on the HDR, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I hope nobody walks in here right now.
HR
Like they just, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I am a little surprised it did so poorly. Season 1 is at 24% on Rotten Tomatoes. But that being said, it also has a 93% audience score. I don't know how they get
Because
their audience scores.
It must be
but
people that actually watch it love it.
Yeah, that could be.
And I wouldn't say I love it, but I do like it. It's just that Marco Polo character. He's the worst. That's what tanked it.
It's really slow too.
Call it Kublai Khan. That works because Kublai Khan in it is fantastic.
He is cool.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to. I was saying I watched the scene of the duel between he and his brother because they're like fighting for the Empire.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a really cool scene.
Spoilers too. Well, no, I don't know which
I didn't
part
say.
to say. Okay.
I didn't say.
Yeah. All right.
Just a
Never
cool
mind.
scene.
I may
Yeah.
have just spoiled it. It's. I'd say it's worth watching. I imagine they're still going to keep it up there, obviously, because they already made these. But I thought it was fun. They even made a spin-off, one short movie that was a spin-off of what is it, 1,000 Eyes. 1,000 Eyes, I think that's 100 Eyes.
Oh, okay.
100 Eyes. Yeah, it was the origin story of 100 Eyes, which is a character from Marco Polo. That one's good
really?
too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's only about like half hour long, maybe something like that.
Well, the interesting thing about this is they say that it lost $200 million. But how do you lose money if you're Netflix? Like,
That
I
I
don't know
don't
what
know.
that means. Do
They
they
must-
mean that they spent $200 million on it and nobody cared?
They must have some kind of an internal
Yeah.
algorithm that they figure out, how many
How many
hours have been
viewers are
watched
watching it, like, for
so
what
that
they
means
get?
for how much money we've
It's
made.
got
off
to be
of
a
that.
hell of an algorithm.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But yeah, I still think it's great. Just ignore Marco Polo and watch for Kubla Khan.
Well, you can watch it, but not for season 3 because it ain't coming out.
I want to see season 3
And
too.
Bloodline was canceled too.
What?
All your
No!
favorite shows. Yeah,
Are
you
kidding
know
me?
that.
Oh yeah, but they still have the new
They'll
seasons
still have
coming
3.
out.
They'll
Yeah,
still
okay,
have 3.
3's still coming out.
Yeah.
I was about to get really upset.
I'm just saying,
there.
all your favorite shows get canceled.
Dude,
That's got to say
Carnival
something.
all over again. Carnival.
You're a Carnival
I'm
guy.
still
too.
mad about Carnival. That should have never been
Nobody
canceled.
cared about that show either.
Oh, it's so good.
My brother enjoyed it.
It was so good.
It was
Anyway.
a little sprawling.
But then by the end, they really got you into it.
Yeah.
If you haven't, okay, never mind. I can talk about Carnival all day.
We'll talk about that
It just
later.
makes me mad. All right, let's talk about another sequel. DC continuing, I guess, kind of a sequel. DC continuing on their ride, whatever they're going to do with their movies.
making money.
They're happening. And Suicide Squad out, probably the most successful one they've had so far, which I did finally see actually on the airplane. That was
Yeah,
one
I
did
don't
watch.
know. I don't know where. Yeah, it is on money. I think it
Yeah.
made a lot of money.
Yeah, made a lot of money. And of what probably the biggest star of it was Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn for many reasons, and she is going to have there is going to be an all-female now DC movie, which we didn't know about before.
We've talked about it. She
talked
is
about it.
the impetus for this whole thing. She wanted to do it. She's going to
Yeah.
produce it through her production company. And yeah, the big thing. We don't know who any of the other people are going to be, but the big news on this week is that Megan Fox is very much rumored, as in it's very much a rumor, and there's nothing to substantiate it, but she's rumored to be Poison Ivy.
Huh. I haven't seen Megan Fox in anything in so long that I don't really know.
She's in stuff, you just haven't seen her.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I
The
just haven't
Teenage Mutant
seen the
Ninja Turtles
things.
movies, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's what this is going around. It came from a small blog called Bleeding Cool, and many other like fairly reputable websites have covered that. But it's just a rumor, and they say it's because she's really into comic books. She's expressed interest in playing Poison Ivy before, and this person says that she has pre-ordered pre-52 Harley Quinn comics that feature Poison Ivy sent to her Warner Studio address. I don't know how
who's
this
reporting this.
Bleeding Cool.
Like, but who's inside
I
source?
don't know. That's like scary, isn't it? Like,
That's gotta suck to be a celebrity, knowing that anything you say, one of your friends is like, "Oh yeah,
yeah, exactly.
okay, all right." We just send that to.
Tweet that to Bleeding Cool.
Yeah,
But good for them if they know something we don't.
sure. I think the idea could be good. Poison Ivy would be a good character. Obviously, Catwoman, although that might be too big of a character to put into kind of a mix-up if she's not going to get her own.
Well, they
spin-off.
think Catwoman could be in it. Those are the two
Yeah.
rumored to be in it because there aren't that many female villains, really. I mean,
I'm sure if you get into.
I'm sure
the
if you get
whole-
deep,
if
there
you
are.
get a little deeper.
But yeah, for those who don't know, also we found out that Gotham. I think this happened when we were off, but Gotham City Sirens is the name of the movie for the podcasters that can't see our screen right now. But yeah,
Right.
it's called Gotham City Sirens.
Okay.
There
All
you
right.
go.
Well, there we go. Little more news on that. Let's watch another trailer here. Talk about another trailer for a Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, what'd you think
movie.
of this one?
Interesting. I don't know. I do like war movies. I will probably watch it.
I just feel
It
like World War
sounds like
II
it's-
is such well-worn ground, but I
It
love
is.
Christopher Nolan. I like everything he does. So
And Tom Hardy's in it.
Tom Hardy is in it. So this is called Dunkirk, and the movie is, for those who don't know, the movie is about the Dunkirk evacuation that happened in World War II in 1940, British evacuation, all Allied forces.
Yeah.
What happened was they were surrounded by 330,000.
Or it was 330,000
Or sorry,
soldiers
330,000 soldiers
evacuated.
were evacuated. That's right, and they were surrounded by just tons of German forces. Like who even knows? Axis forces, came at all sides to them.
Right.
And
it's
so,
like
yeah.
reverse Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, it
essentially.
kind of is.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And it very much looks like Saving Private Ryan, except it has all those super dark, Christopher Nolan colors.
Christopher Nolan things,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's very like
That's the one thing
muted
about it.
colors and shades.
It's
and
a real depressing story. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
one that needs to be told.
but
and
isn't
I will
that,
watch
I mean,
this.
It's depressing, but also they got them.
Yeah.
Most of them off the beach, so that's something.
Yeah, But I mean, there's going to be a lot of death involved in this.
But yeah, they have
World
Tom
War II.
Hardy, Cillian Murphy, and Kenneth Branagh are all in this. Those are pretty big stars. Kenneth Branagh used to be bigger than he is now, I suppose, but he's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
really good, like Shakespearean actor, director of Thor. A lot of people don't know that.
Oh,
but also they have a bunch of newcomers that are supposed to be sort of the headliners. One of which is a newcomer to Hollywood, but people will know this guy is Harry Styles, who is the dude from One Direction.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
All right. That just took a lot away from the movie for me.
Yeah, and then there's some other people that I don't know. Fionn Whitehead, Jack Lowden, Aneurin Bernard. But apparently the big stars are sort of like second tier as far as like the lead roles. So I don't know. We'll see how that works out.
Never mind.
Other thing that's interesting about this movie, shot on large format IMAX cameras, so it should look really awesome in IMAX theaters.
Minus the fact that Harry Styles is one of the... All right, maybe I'm wrong.
Look,
maybe
I don't know much about One Direction. I know it's easy to hate on them. I honestly don't know how bad their music actually sucks.
I used to rip on Justin Timberlake, too. If he turns out to be something like that, okay, great.
He could be the next JT.
Man. All right. Well, anyway, Dunkirk.
There it is.
So there's the trailer. July 21st, 2017 is when that'll be coming out. Yeah. Nice and depressing for the middle of the summer. All right. Speaking of depressing, we do have to talk about
At least
this.
It'll be bright out when you see all those muted colors. It'll be nice outside.
Yeah.
Go to a matinee.
Right. Well, we do have to bring up something, though, because this year has just been horrific for celebrities. And we lost another one over this last week, and that was Alan Thicke.
Yes.
Alan Thicke passing away. And...
Jason Seaver.
Yeah.
He and I both shared a mutual dislike for Ben Seaver, which is where we bonded. I really liked Alan Thicke. He was seemed like a nice guy. He's one of those TV dads that you grew up with. And also the story of his passing, he was playing hockey with his son, which, kind of sad, but also there are worse ways to go out.
There are.
Yeah.
A couple of things, though, that I did not realize about him. I didn't know how many television theme songs he wrote.
Right.
I had no idea about that.
I've been singing, the Facts of Life theme song all week.
Two of the best television show theme songs of all time.
Yeah.
Which we could do a whole show on that.
I can sing them for you right now.
I have a collection of 400 TV theme songs.
You do?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I find them interesting.
Weird.
It's very strange. And another thing I shouldn't admit on the air.
That's actually awesome. I love that.
Yeah. Well, Different Strokes and The Facts of Life are two really, really good ones. And he wrote
Different
the theme
Strokes
songs of both of those.
And not only that, but he sang Different Strokes. He sang the theme song for Different Strokes.
Now I have to go back and listen to it again.
Now you know where Robin Thicke got his almost talent.
No, the world don't move.
Yeah.
To the beat of just one. Anyway.
Wow, you know
I don't need to sing it.
I was singing The Facts of Life the other day. No one was interested in hearing it.
The Facts of Life is great too.
That's the time you that's the time you figure out the facts of life are all about you, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. And that's a word from Ryan. All right. Well, anyway,
so
the passing of
Thicke,
we had to bring that up.
Sorry about that, buddy.
But yeah, I'm going to look into his career there with TV show theme songs.
Yeah.
A couple
prolific Canadian.
Prolific Canadian, that's true. All right, a couple of last minute things here, or not last minute, but our last things for this show. Again, if you have anything you want to bring up, go ahead and drop that into YouTube, into the chat. We'll get to those. But Amazon, I know you want to talk about this, about Amazon kind of going
Amazon
bigger.
Going global.
Yeah, Amazon going global.
Yeah, I mean, basically, they just announced that they're going to be in 200 countries, just like Netflix, jumping into the fray.
Do you think they have the potential to actually compete with Netflix as far as content? Or
I do not.
Yeah.
And I think it's an interesting move for them. I mean, they have a lot more money to play around with. And, they have been throwing money at this thing like crazy. I mean, they're in the space race. Amazon is crazy, man. Yeah. They're creating a drone army for delivery. I mean, they are Google or Amazon.
Right. It's Google that we've been worried about. Maybe it's Amazon.
But don't forget that Amazon owns, the servers that most. I think Netflix puts all their stuff on Amazon servers, or at least they used to. I mean, a lot of people put their stuff on Amazon servers. They are a powerful company that they may be a country one day.
Right.
I mean, they're a powerful company that has sort of, their fingers in a lot of pies. So we'll see what they can do. I mean, let's put it this way. This video service will be as successful as they want it to be, depending on how much money they keep dumping into it. But Netflix has found, as a lot of companies have found, but especially Netflix, that it's not as easy as it looks to, get into all these markets. I mean, for one thing, a lot of these people don't have very good. A lot of these countries have a massive population that don't have good internet service.
True.
That's one of the reasons that Netflix went to the downloadable.
For
route,
a lot of those places,
so you can actually go into an internet cafe and download it on your phone or whatever, so you can watch it without having high-speed internet. There's that, but also American content, British content doesn't necessarily transfer as well to other countries, especially Eastern countries.
Which they're starting to make original content.
They're making a lot of original content for that, and but Amazon doesn't have nearly as much original content as Netflix does, nor do they have as much licensed content as Netflix. On the other hand, Amazon is reportedly creating their own live TV service. They've been making partnerships left and right. So, streaming TV is up in the air. We don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
But we do know that Netflix is the player to beat when it comes to moving overseas and original content. So,
well, speaking of Netflix, we do have one last thing here to talk about, a new trailer coming out. They're coming out with new series and movies all the time. Even following this one, I watched, I'm like, oh, there's 3 more Netflix things I didn't even know about. But this one's called The OA, and it's very, very strange.
And completely enigmatic.
Yeah, and it's a series. And so the series, we kind of watched the trailer, and I suggest, if you're not watching the show right now, to find the trailer to watch it and see what you think of it. See if you think this is something that's going to be good. I mean, maybe it will be, but it's very dark. It has to do with a girl who went missing, and she returns, I can't remember how many years later, but a decade later, and she's grown up at this point, and when she disappeared, she was blind.
Right.
When she reappears, she can see.
Right.
And then there's just this gap.
She doesn't recognize her
happened?
family because she's literally never seen them before.
Yeah, never seen them.
Yeah.
So she's only hearing them, and she's been missing for all this time.
Now, this does have a cool actor, Jason Isaacs, I think is his name, and he was in Harry Potter as Malfoy.
Oh, okay.
Lucius Malfoy, but he's been in a couple of other really good things. I really like this actor. I don't think he gets his due. So he's in it. I like that. But yeah,
he was also in Brothers, which was a great show.
Yeah, and he was in a show on NBC that got canceled. I can't remember what it was called, but it was basically about him living in 2 different realities at the same time. One of them, his son had died in a car wreck, and one of them, and his wife had lived, and in the other one, his wife had died and his son lived. And it was actually a really interesting series. Okay. It got canceled quicker than I think it should have. But anyway, I like that actor.
Brothers, my bad.
What's that?
Brotherhood, not Brothers.
Oh,
my
okay,
bad.
gotcha.
But anyway, yeah. So he's in this.
Step Brothers, is that what you were thinking of?
No, not that one.
No,
not that one either.
That's a good one.
All right, well, that's good enough for me. I mean, I will give it a shot, but yeah, it's another strange one that's coming out on Netflix that you can take a look at. All right, I think that's probably about all we have time for today. We've kind of gone through about everything. So, Star Wars Rogue One.
Go see it, man.
Go see it.
Go see it.
And, no spoilers.
We're going to be off, but we're going to have a couple of cool things coming up.
Mm-hmm.
One of which is we're going to have our best TV Christmas episodes.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a show about that, quick little show about that, and we have a write-up. I picked out quite a few. You picked out a couple.
Yeah.
Some weird stuff on there, but really good stuff, I think. I'm Up at Family Christmas. We'll tease that one.
You are a big fan of that one.
I really enjoy it.
It really is good.
And then we're also going to do sort of our best TV shows of the year. Mm-hmm. That'll be another show that we'll have while we're off. We'll do a couple while we're not doing the full show.
Right, and we'll put those up as a podcast too, so you can check those out. If you're listening via podcast, you've already found us. But if you're watching on YouTube, definitely subscribe to the podcast. It's on iTunes and wherever you find podcasts, it'll be there. And you can check out the page at digitaltrends.com, and you can read the full article that Ryan writes accompanying this. And all of our back episodes are up there. You can watch the videos, share them, tell your friends, all of those things, right there at digitaltrends.com as well. So, yeah. I think that's about it for today. And thanks so much for tuning in. Go see Star Wars Rogue One. Do not spoil it. Don't talk about how Gandalf shows up or any of that.
Yeah, that's not fair.
We're not going to bring up any of those things. But we'll be back soon with another episode.
Silly.